We got you. You gonna do the prayer for us? Greg, you ready?
Sir?
You gonna do the prayer when we do it?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's you.
You got it. You
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh.
At this time, our board will not come to order.
This meeting of the mayor and the board of aldermen for the city of Cleveland is now in session. If you have any business before this board, please come forward and you'll be heard.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for everything you've blessed us with, especially here in our community with those that are willing to serve and volunteer and keep our community one of the best places in the world to live. Lord, I pray that everything that we do and say is done in a way that's pleasing to your ear and according to your will. May you be pleased with what you hear today. Amen.
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 All right, this morning we have a public hearing to discuss the change of the election wards. At this time, we will hear from any alderman that we have concerning any discussion they have on the redistricting plan.
Unless there are no issues, I make a motion that we accept Chris Watson's
I
proposal.
think we have to close the hearing first, don't we?
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
anybody in the public here, Madam Clerk?
We have
Anybody?
no objections to that.
I move we close the hearing that was scheduled for this morning.
I'll second Ben, there are no objections.
Moving in second that we close the hearing that was scheduled for this morning. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you being here.
That was quick and easy.
Glad you didn't make the drive.
Yeah, so
Do we need a motion to accept it?
Yes, sir.
I make
For
a
the-
motion,
the
we
plan.
accept. I make a motion, we accept the proposed plan.
Motion was made by Eric to accept the proposed plan
Second.
and second by Brian. All in favor, aye. Ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
okay, very,
I
very
have a
good.
question. Miss Michelle,
Yes, ma'am.
will we
Thank you.
get a copy of the new maps so we can send it out to our constituents?
Yes, ma'am. There's actually one in Dropbox. And I
Okay.
do have some in paper as well.
Yeah, I've got
Okay,
one.
thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question to Chris. Have we received the boundaries and to go in the ordinance, and
Yeah.
are we adopting the ordinance today? Is that what we just did?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The draft resolution,
Official.
draft ordinance is in Dropbox, the map and the data. All three were in Dropbox.
Thank you.
So,
I think we all had received a copy of that plan, the redistricting plan 3. So we all should, have a copy of that. Yes.
Oh, we have hard copies, but I was just saying just something with digital now.
You do have, yes, ma'am. He sent me, after, I believe it was the last time we discussed this, Ms. Wentz, when you asked for a digital copy of the map. I asked him to email me a copy, and so I put it in Dropbox for this meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
Michelle.
Yes, ma'am.
if I may offer a comment that might be helpful. Now that, first of all, the last action you took, I interpret that action as being adopting the ordinance. And if that is in fact what you did, then you're through with the process. I'm going to modify the language on the map rather than calling it proposed districts and a proposed plan. I'm going to retitle the map and just title it as your election districts. And we'll note that it's adopted as of today. And I will send you an electronic copy of that map. That way, when y'all send it out and share it with people, there will be no confusion as to whether it's proposed or going to be adopted at some point in the future. It's your map now. So
Thank you.
that'll be forthcoming.
Perfect.
Michelle,
Thank you.
Michelle, if you would email, when Chris sends that to you, if you would email it to us as well.
Absolutely.
I'm still having trouble opening up documents in Dropbox.
Absolutely. We'll email the final documents when we receive them.
Thank you.
At this time, we will have, our city attorney.
Good morning, everybody. Need a motion and second to approve the consent agenda unless there are questions.
So moved.
Second.
It is moved in a second that we, approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye. As here, and the motion is carried.
And the only other thing I have, there's not an executive session. It just, you see on the agenda there, it says update on boring ordinance. We got some pushback from one of the utilities. In fairness, we've got their comments for you in your Dropbox. But also in fairness, what I'm recommending, instead of y'all passing this today, let's take it up at the first meeting in October because we want to get some more comments. There are some problems that point to this boring ordinance being a really good idea because it gets crowded down there in the dirt where you have cable and fiber optic and water and gas and so I'll have you some other comments in there before the October meeting, and at that time we'll ask you to consider approval.
Gary, if you can't open those, I'll email them to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's all I have for y'all.
Okay, our, next order of business is executive session. Are there any executive session item?
No, sir. Actually, none.
We will not hear from our police chief.
Good morning. I'm asking for the authorization to apply for the 2024 Justice Assistant Grant.
So move.
Second.
Has been moved by Mr. Gary and second by Mr. Abraham, the chief to apply for the Justice Assessment Grant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Now we will hear from our city clerk.
Just requesting approval to change the date of the second meeting in October from the 15th to the 22nd. It's because of the way that the dates fall in the calendar for the first meeting being the 7th. If we have our second meeting on the third Tuesday, we would meet the following week. So we typically, when that happens, we typically move the second meeting out a week so that we're not meeting back to back.
We need
I
approval.
make that motion.
What will that date be?
The 22nd. So the first meeting in October will be October 7th.
Okay.
The second meeting, if with this motion, will be October 22nd.
I second Mr. Gaines for that motion.
It's been moved and second that the second meeting will be October the 22nd. It will move by Gary and second by Mr. Abraham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Now we'll hear from our human resource.
October 7th. October 22nd.
22nd.
Okay, the first thing I have is you'll see some policies in your Dropbox that we're asking revision on. And also you'll see a summary attached that will give details for each policy, those revisions. Those are just in there for review, and I'll ask for approval in the next board meetings. And then the second thing is our employee action. We have one item on there asking for approval today.
We need to approve the employee action.
The action.
7th or the 8th or the
Brian.
7th on Monday.
Brian made the motion.
Oh, who made it?
Brian.
I'll second that.
Brian made motion was made by Alderman Brian and second by Mr. Powell. All in favor, say aye. Ayes, hearing, the motion is carried.
Okay.
Now we need an adjournment.
Yes, sir, you're there.
What are we gonna do now?
Okay, that complete our agenda for this morning. Now we are ready to adjourn the meeting.
We adjourn.
No, not
that's right.
before.
Alderman comments.
All
Comments, because Ms. Spence did send something that she does have for discussion today.
Okay. Now we'll hear from are there any comments from any alderman? You can speak now.
There were some pictures. Go ahead on, Michelle.
Alderman Wentz sent some photos to me that she would like y'all to review, and I added a folder this morning in Dropbox, and it's labeled Alderman, and the photos are in that folder. If y'all can look in Dropbox so that you can view the photos that she wanted to discuss.
I'm going there.
Yeah, I had missed that one.
Well, it was this morning. It was this morning.
Can you put it on the screen?
I can't I
Okay.
can't. I'm sorry. It was done this morning, or it was done last night, but I didn't get it till this morning. So, I'll send them to you.
And please forgive me for being late. They were sent to me. They were sent
Last
to me
night.
late.
Yes,
Yesterday.
ma'am, I understand.
Yes,
I
ma'am. They were
understand.
sent to me. It was just a person over there was just having some issues with the I guess the drainage, and you can see where in her yard, but I guess someone has put a horse there, is trying to block that area off, and I just wanted to know from Steve-O if he knew about it, or from if they knew about it and what was going on with that area.
What's the address, Miss Wentz?
It's over there on, see, I wish you hadn't asked me. You know Catherine Story?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Rose Story.
Yeah, I know where Miss Gator lives.
The Lincoln Way.
It's over there off of Eastover.
Yes, ma'am.
It's that going right toward that field. I will say it's Eastover.
I think that's where Miss Story lives.
Right.
What does the picture depict?
It's
What's the problem? I can't see.
It's where you can see part of the concrete or the street is breaking up, and there's a horse there that's over the drainage. So someone has placed it over there, I guess, trying to protect this breakage, but it's right by the drainage, and you can see where the concrete, I guess, is breaking up and shifting. There is a hole there, and so where the as coming out of her driveway, there is a big, well, I'm not gonna say big, but there is a gaping hole where the concrete is splitting. And so she asked me to ask someone to look at it. I don't know whether Thomas knows about it or if Steve-O knows about it, but there is you can see where the that concrete is splitting. And then there's a wooden horse that's been placed over that hole.
I don't, but I can figure it out, Miss Wentz.
Okay, please, will you please?
Soon as we're off the meeting, I'm going over there.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
Steve-O, you might want to touch base with Josh on that and find out just the status of that street as far as the street project and just everything in general.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Michelle. That would be a great thing that needs to be looked into.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Winston, and thank you, Steve-O, for checking on that for us.
Not a problem.
Are there any other aldermen who have any comments or anything they would like to say?
I want to say something to Danny, and you know it, and we all know it. In regards to this boring ordinance, it's not specifically who we got the letter from. It's their subcontractors from the lack of direction and observation. And that's it. I don't know how we address that. That's where the problems are coming from. It's if I'm following this letter correctly and reading what our issue is, it's the subcontractors that they're hiring that they just let them run rampant.
I think that's a very good point. And the photos that I will upload before your October meeting.
Yeah.
These are people's yards.
I had it all week and it's terrible. Painting people's fences that's on their line. No, these subcontractors just run rampant and we just can't have that. We got to have something to hold their feet to the ground to watch these guys.
Yes, sir. I fully agree. I was amazed at the pushback. And then when Thomas shared the photos, one photo depicts work without an 811 ticket.
Right.
It's crowded under there on the ground. There's a reason why you got to do that. And then as a courtesy with the other project, the city requested and the company that was over that agreed, and they quit doing work at after 4 o'clock and on weekends, because otherwise our employees, run up a lot of overtime. And you really don't want to be out there in a hole where there's some issue with either a gas line or a water line or some type of rupture after dark.
Well,
Thank
this weekend, I'm not sure where it was, but they hit an underground power line. It was a major supply line because I just happened to talk to one of the electrical contractors that they had to go out and dig it up and repair the power line because one of the fiber optic people hit it either Friday or Saturday. So it's really bad.
And
So I'm like Danny, how do we hold them accountable for these things?
Billy Trotter can speak to this. I think if the right permitting is in place and we get a bond, and we can hold that. We hold that bond. Billy, is it now 2 years or is it still 1 year?
That's correct. We hold a bond up to 2 years on the job. That particular contractor, I think Gary and Danny speaking on, has been ran out of town 2 or 3 times. They refuse to get permits.
They didn't
And
even have a permit.
I've talked to every one of them, from the head guy to the guy that's actually doing the work. And Josh and I have talked to him as well. And I gave him their final warning last week. If I catch him in town, then we would take legal action against them until they get into compliance with the city ordinance that we have.
So do we?
At this point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
I second.
A motion have made by Mr. Prevost and second by Mr. Abraham to adjourn.
Y'all have a
You
good
don't have a
day.
wonderful day.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye.
14 minutes.
Ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Thank you.
And Ms. Danny, I'll have some photos that have been taken and some more information in there so that you've got a really good record. And then if they want to fight us and push back, they can. But what they ought to be doing is working